Papa wey talk say im pikin no go sleep, himself go ready to bed without peace. What is happening in Rivers State is an indication that when you call yourself a respecter of rule of law, you end up being cheated, being marginalized, and of course being intimidated. As we can see, yesterday the president went out of his common constitutional right to suspend a governor that was elected by its people in Rivers State. Let us quickly take a look and study the history. When Tinubu was still the governor of Lagos State between the period of 1999 and 2007, Obasanjo wanted to suspend Tinubu as well. What was the argument then? The argument was Tinubu went ahead to create additional 37 LCDAs, which means that Tinubu created those local council development areas out of his own jurisdiction without a presidential nod, and Obasanjo took it upon himself to suspend the governor. He even suspended the allocations of what the governor ought to have gotten for a period of time. Obasanjo wanted to even suspend Tinubu and his legislators, but Tinubu resisted it. He resisted it. Yes, he wasn't paid for a period of time, for a period of 12 months, but Tinubu refused to be suspended by the president. He was stating that the president on no ground has any right to suspend him, that this is not military. What we are saying now, fast forward to almost 17 years later, is that Tinubu is operating like a dictator. Yesterday, Tinubu came on board. He said, due to the conflict going on in Rivers State, that he hereby suspends the governor. That the governor has not been yielding to his own advice. As far as I'm concerned, everything, all the shenanigans, all the misgovernance, all these Minisianians that has been going on in River State is the sole fault of Fubara. This is what happens when you present yourself, when you exude the character of being a weak man. People will continue to step on you, to march on you, and then to kick your butt. When when Fubara will not rise and take up the mantle of leadership, Fubara is acting like a toy, a stooge, a puppet. We all know how Fubara got into power. And we can also relate this to almost 80% of governors in Nigeria today. Most of them rise through a godfather. It has become a norm, because Nigeria, a normal thing is seen as abomination. It is the abominable things that we like to actually accept and worship. Fubara must come out and say that I am not the first person that will be elected by Godfather. So what? He has to speak up. He has to charge against these oppressive voices and oppressive powers, because Tinubu will not go against Wike. It seems that Wike is holding the blockers. It seems that Wike is holding the blockers of Tinubu, and Tinubu is so scared. Otherwise, Wike might just bust that blockers. Yes. Because we know the troublemaker. We know the person that is fomenting the ethnic tension. In fact, don't be surprised that the bomb blasts, the explosions that are going on in River State could be done by Wike's people. Don't be surprised. Because as of today, nobody knows. The two parties are guilty. Fubara and Wike are guilty. There's no point for anybody to start pointing fingers to only Fubara. Only allegations and speculations are out there, and then nobody is talking about Wike. Because don't forget, Wike was a very oppressive and a very aggressive voice when he was a governor. He commanded all the bad boys in River State. There are so many times when Buhari was empowered and when Buhari wanted to go against River State, before we know it, while Wike was still there, before you know it, pipeline, boom, boom, ba ba. So who wants to tell me that Wike still doesn't have the contact of those people? As far as I'm concerned, Fubara has no street credibility. Fubara na boti, Fubara na boy we never graduate. Oh yes, Fubara na still person wey never sabi chop bone, na still flesh in the chop. You know when you go to a party, they just cut you flesh. Oh yeah, you take this chicken flesh. You are not supposed to eat the meat and bone. Just go and be using that one to rub your lips. At least you know that you have a feel and a taste of the chicken. That is who Fubara is. Because let me tell you, there is no governor who understands what we call street OT, who understands the power that he wields, that will now turn himself to a toy shop wherein today the president will call you, the next day Wike will attack, boom. The third day the president will call you again, come. You know what? Let us do this thing like this. When you look at the terms and conditions of the agreement, you see that everything is favoring Wike. You don't be like, what is going on here? Is Wike now someone that is untouchable? I mean, we saw how Wike dealt with his own godfathers. We saw how he silenced Peter Hodili. We saw how he literally chased out. He deported Amechi away from River State. That is what he did. He literally deported Amechi from River State, where he was issuing all manner of threats that he was going to demolish the house of Amechi. He was putting personal non granta orders. He was placing arrest warrants. If you do anyhow, we'll pick you up. We saw how Wike single-handedly ensured that Atiku does not hold one single presidential campaign in Rivers State. Let us clap for Wike. You see, Wike knows how to use power. And Fubara has been a terrible student. Or shall I say Fubara has been a terrible mentee? We all know their stories. None of them is clean. If a Wike can come out and say that I am the one that bought you the governorship form, so therefore I have a right to influence your government. In fact, he even went ahead to say that I am the one that bought all the forms of the assembly members. So therefore, when you reap, you have to sow. I mean, when you sow, you have to reap. Are those not the words of Wike? Is Wike putting words under his tongue to make things clear? Wike today is not ashamed to be seen as a rigger. He's not ashamed to be seen as a godfather. He's not ashamed to be seen as a bad person. However, Fubara is doing, hey, Holy Mary, Mother of God, forgive me of my sins. I am a good man. I am a good person. They go kick you under the bus and the bus will ram you, walk you over. We might not be able to find your flesh. Maybe only the carcass. This time, Fubara, who wants to be a jejely man, has he not been kicked out at the end of the day? What are we saying now? Who has won? As far as we are concerned, Wike is still the FCT minister, who has lost his relevance and executive powers. The military have gone to River State, the richest oil state in Nigeria. The goose that lays the golden egg has had its governor suspended when no be say military don't take over. I never see person wey dull like Fubara. It's a shame that Fubara is a son of the soil and a German who belongs to the clan of warriors that live along the coral lines, is acting like a snail that has lost its shell, acting like a fish that has been taken away from the waters. He cannot respond, he cannot activate. Chai! It's a sad day for the Ijaw nations. It is a sad day for the Ijaw people, for all the Baramatu kingdom people, that you people have been brought down by an Ikwere man. Oh, yes, because in this case, if you want to the count discuss, Wike don dey 4-0, Fubara and Ijaw nation dey 0. They never win one. They never win. Yesterday, I was having a conversation. Someone was telling me, it could be that Fubara is trying to be strategic. Fubara could be the one that initiated the impeachment process, because he knows that they will get to a point that there will be a need to activate or inaugurate 7-man committee of non-questionable character that will now take a look at what is going on. Oga, there's nobody that has no questionable character in Rivers State, in Nigeria. The earlier the better you know that all of us na thief, na person wey dem catch Bibarawo. Fubara must begin to act. Otherwise, he will be the first person in the history of Nigeria that a democratic president walked out while he was elected. Because what I am seeing in Fubara is Fubara is crying, shedding tears. Kai, they talk say, when you get money, get street OT. When you get money finish, try get street credibilities. Try get boys wey go sabi cause small trouble on your side, so that when some people want to ferment trouble, some external forces, even you yourself go fit defend your home. This is why countries have soldiers. This is why countries have military. Military are literally made up of stubborn human beings. These are people who are supposed to be destitute. These are people who are supposed to be ruffians. They are being brought on, institutionalized, trained, so that they can work for the interest of the state. In this instance, it's unfortunate that Fubara has no way to fight his way out of this. Because what is fighting Fubara, it is illegitimacy now being legitimate. Because they are simply asking him, why would a former governor be so important to a sitting president, where you will now be calling the governor to have a seat? You will now be having some negotiations. Your tenure has gone, it has gone. You have no business with how Fubara runs the state anymore. Let the people of the state be the one that worries. Let them be the one that will hold him accountable. And you as a citizen, of course, because you cannot be stripped out of your citizenship or of your indigenship of that state, you can all equally hold the governor accountable if he tries to steal, but not you. I'm twisting him, strangulating him. You even now initiate a process whereby you handicap the governor. The governor, as of today, is incapacitated. He has been handicapped. He has been silenced by a former governor. And we all know that the interest here is the resource of the common man in Rivers State. If the president wanted to be neutral, why has he not asked for the Minister of FCT to step down? Why has he not asked Wike, who used to be the former governor, are you not still collecting your gratuities as an ex-governor? Has Fubara stopped all this? You can see that Wike, when he was a governor, Wike even stopped the payment of one governor like that. I cannot remember. He gave an executive order that man should not be paid anymore. I think that man did governor, he was in governor for like 2 years before Amechi now came on board. Fubara did not carry out these things. In fact, it got to a point, Fubara was calling Wike, my Oga. How can I? When this fracas initially started, he said, my Oga, how can I look to your face and go against your orders? He was trying to make peace. But he doesn't know that the biggest price that you must pay when you want peace is to be ready for war. As a man, for your household not to be besieged or wiped out by evil forces, even you yourself go strong. Oh yes, this is a life hack. It is not an African thing. It is just a human nature. As a man, for your household to have a strong hold on this earth, this mother earth, you as the father of a house must be a strong man. Even you yourself go get some kind backing, some kind working, so that when they try check you, they go check them bad. They say, oh, this one, I no go area, no go reason am. If you too reason am, you go. You get a point. Wike said, he said, we will impeach you, nothing will happen. We will kick you out. Let me tell you, the way you exude your character will determine how your followers will react. The Ijaw youths are not reacting, are not overly aggressive, because the way they are seeing Fubara, they are learning from the cues and body language of Fubara. Fubara is not aggressive. They have no reason to be excessively aggressive. Because the person who is wearing the shoe is not complaining that the shoe they tight me. The person who is being emaciated, strangulated, you see the dog say, continue to strangle me. He's not crying out. He's not fighting back. So I might not necessarily blame the likes of Asari Dokubo, blame the likes of Ateketom, blame the likes of the chief of Garamatu, which is Governor Tompolo. And because this guy has no street credibility now, he's not showing ruggedity. He's not. One man has kicked him out. It is a lesson, a life lesson that we have to learn from River State. That as a man, even yourself, you guys get some kind of street credibility. And everything not be peacemaking. This is a lesson that we must know, that the best prize for peace is war. When people try to take away your peace, you give them war. Let us listen to the terrible words of Wike, how it did all this. Let's go.
Governor Fubara threatening violence against members of the River State House of Assembly if they proceeded with the impeachment has surfaced online. Let's take a look at that video. I think that the governor made these remarks weeks ago during the inauguration of the state quarters in Port Harcourt.
In as much as I don't subscribe to violence, when the time comes for us to take a decision, I will lead the cause for that decision. Let me say it again, and let me say it again. I'm not scared of anything. The worst that will happen is me to leave the office. It's not. Am I leaving the earth? Is it going to stop me from existing? So I'm not even bothered about that. But the right thing must be done and must be said when the opportunity is given to us.
Now, you heard him there. He said the worst that could happen is for him to leave the office. And what has happened now? I mean, it appears that he actually ushered in this sort of removal from office. I mean, that video is actually trending. But another thing that President Tinubu had said during his nationwide broadcast was because of, there's this sort of, insecurity, as he claimed. That is one of the reasons why he had declared that state of emergency. Well, on Monday, we saw an explosion that rocked a section of the Trans-Niger pipeline in Bodo community in Gokana local government area of River State. The Trans-Niger pipeline is a key federal transport line supplying crude oil to the Bonny export terminal in the state and plays a crucial role in crude oil export with a capacity of 1.25 million barrels per day. Well, here's a video that surfaced on Tuesday morning showing thick black smoke billowing into the sky as flames rapidly spread into the mangrove.
What's happening in Ogoni again? Gokana Bonny Road by Julius Berger Junction. What is happening? Look at gas flaring. What's happening in Share and Ogoni again? What is it? Would Ogoni people die for you people? What is it? It's too bad. It's too bad of you. Why? No.
Meanwhile, I mean, it remains unclear what really caused that explosion. And I also heard that there were other explosions that are being underreported at this point. Meanwhile, a video showing multiple military vans filled with armed operatives heading towards the Rivers State Government House in Port Harcourt, just moments after President Tinubu declared a state of emergency, has surfaced online. Let's take a look. State of emergency in full glare. Let me take this reaction from Brother Bat before I come to you guys. He wrote, "The Democrat invites the military to power in Rivers State. Nigeria, federal government is in charge of securing oil pipeline, but President Tinubu blames Governor Fubara for not deploying security to protect the pipeline. It is fairly clear that Wike and Tinubu have a script." Can you doubt that? Rufy on fire.
So I think the constant word we have repeated here is a French word that, as I had many years ago when I was trying to learn French, was used to be the longest word in French. But I don't know if it's still the longest. I think there are other words that are longer now, which is anticonstitutionnellement. That used to be the longest word in French. And now we have seen that the Constitution now also pushes it to the National Assembly. But I make bold to say that I don't trust this National Assembly. They are rubber stamp. The same National Assembly that's not been able to investigate the Senator Natasha scenario. And what we are hearing now is that there are plans to be able to muscle her down and probably recall her. Is it the same National Assembly that met with the president before he went out to announce this? So they were in the know. The president had told them before. They met and they all agreed before they went to announce it. Is it the same National Assembly that you see will get 2/3? That's why when the Yinaya Abaribe was being interviewed on television yesterday, he couldn't say much because I'm sure Mr. Abaribe can speak for himself, but he cannot speak for the leadership of the National Assembly. And like I said before, if you think that this National Assembly will reverse what President Tinubu has said as regards the state of emergency, then probably you think you are so delusional enough to think that Osimhen is a striker for South African national team. I don't think so. I think this will be allowed to go. I think this is the script they have constantly played. I think President Tinubu was very unfair and very biased in his speech yesterday. In fact, what he said was a playbook from the already printed impeachment notice that was circulated. President Tinubu did not call Wike to order. In all fairness, we played a video of Fubara threatening. What about Wike's own threat video? So we are showing all of this to the world because it will be on record. The same President Tinubu that spoke against things like this, he is now the one in front and center doing all of this that we complain about. So he has now become an albatross of some sort to the so-called democracy. And I use the word so-called he fought for because I don't think when these leaders act, they even understand the tenets of democracy. Can't President Tinubu tell Wike enough is enough?
Those are the questions out
like
there.
Like Ateno Peter's side did put out today, what is really going on between Wike and Tinubu? The earlier we know it, the better it is for this country. And all of this, don't be deceived, is for 2027.
Right.
Supremacy and power.